You know what would have been kind of a cool thing to do? And I know that Veritas is supposed to just be this evil guy that we like hate. Like we completely hate him. He has like no redeeming qualities, right? I get that. He's supposed to be hateable, and some characters are just made like that. But I would have been pleasantly surprised, and it wouldn't have necessarily endeared me towards him if this happened. It would just be like a layer to him that you wouldn't expect. But I would have kind of liked to see Veritas like the cats. Have a soft spot for cats. Have a soft spot for anything, really. It would have just made his character a bit more layered, because as you saw, I predicted him. I know I said execute them, but I was saying that like jokingly, and then he actually said it. And I said it jokingly because I was like, that is some like stupidly villainous, that's like a stupidly villainous thing to say and do, right? Killing kittens. It's like straight up evil. These are little fucking babies. If anyone I would go fucking wild. I love cats. Monsters, fucking monsters. Anybody who would want to harm a cat is a fucking monster in my eyes. But yeah, I think it would have been interesting for him to have a soft spot for something. I don't know, am I crazy? Because, I don't know, it just seemed so silly that I predicted that he was gonna say that, because I was like joking saying it. I didn't actually think he was gonna say that. I knew there was a chance that he would say that, but it felt too on the nose and villainous and evil. Like, we get it, Veritas is a bad person, obviously. We've known that since the first chapter because he killed us. He got us killed. And he clearly doesn't care about us at all. So I get it. We've known, we have been. Why are her eyebrows like red? We've known for a long time that there's no option. We've known for a long time that he is a baddie in a bad way. Let's have a look. We've known that, right? It's not a surprise. Why is that? Okay. It's not a surprise that he is a bad guy. What would have been a surprise? Oh, are they trying to match it to the outfit? That's interesting, actually. What would have been a surprise is him having a soft spot for anything. And the cats were right there, right? Where are the earrings that I had on? That looks cute. She really doesn't need anything. I don't know. I just thought that would have been cool. Oh, she looks so pretty. Okay. I can't change the color of her eyebrows. They're just gonna be red, I guess. I mean, this doesn't really matter. Those accessories are not going to show up in anything. She just looks pretty. Meow. Shrill meows bounce around the room as the kittens cry out for their mother. Yeah, you took them from their mom. You needed to wait for the mom to come back. They're crawling around on EEYOK's bed where we place them. The trio of delicate kittens squirm about on EEYOK's bed, fragile and thin. I would estimate them to be about 6 weeks old. Okay, so, unless time has passed since they grabbed the kittens, kittens open their eyes, between 7 and 14 days old. That is not 6 weeks old. That is like 1 to 2 weeks old. I mean, she did say, not that I'm an expert on kitten stages, but if they still have their eyes closed, then they are... Well, actually, it says most newborns open their eyes between the ages of 2 and 16 days. I guess there's different things. But generally, let's just say like a week. It takes them a week to open their eyes. 6 weeks and their eyes are still closed? Again, time could have passed, but it hasn't specified that. And where the fuck is the mum if 5 weeks have passed? I think the mum's dead, I'm sorry. I just... I knew something was off when I read that. Because again, I love cats. I've seen a lot of kittens. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of kittens. Not unfortunately, but it was not great circumstances. We had cats growing up, and then my parents were kind of negligent about it. I don't think they'd ever admit it, but they were negligent about like getting them like spayed and neutered and stuff like that. And so we'd have a lot of kittens, and it wasn't always great. But yeah. So I know cats. Had them in my entire life. And I knew something was off about that sentence. I don't know, maybe time has passed, but again, if the mum hasn't come searching, she's given up, I guess, maybe, or like dead. I mean, if the kittens are meowing, if the mum goes past, she's gonna hear it. But let's see. EEYOK announces himself, standing awkwardly near the foot of his bed. I'm unsure how to take care of any pets, let alone a nest of kittens. Okay, so this is right after what just happened. So those kittens are like a week old, girl, not 6 weeks old. They would look quite big by that time. Not big, they would still look like a kitten, but not like a tiny little, like this sized kitten with that can't even open their eyes. I reach out to the grey-haired kitten and pat its head. It hisses at me, but doesn't look too frightened otherwise. Yeah, it's a feral baby. It's a little feral baby, but it'll be super easy to make not feral. Neither do I admit. We fed an adult cat at my childhood home, but I wouldn't call that our pet. It was simply an alley cat that kept the rats away, so we fed it in return. How do you feed a kitten? He asks. Well, okay, so you go and put it back where it was so the mum knows where it is so that you can feed it. Because at this age, it definitely still needs its fucking mum. You'll need like a syringe otherwise to feed it, and like special formula. I love this route, but oh my god, I'm having some issues. Yeah, thank you. We don't, I answer. The mother will. EEYOK looks slightly confused. Last night she took off after jumping you, but I believe she's still in the house. She's probably looking for her kittens at this very moment. Yeah, because you took them! You took them! Veritas fucked off. You didn't have to take them out of the room. He seemed kind of like, whatever the fuck, I don't care. He just seemed to leave and not care, because that's just his jam. He said something evil and then walks away. But you could have left them there until the mom came back. And the mom's probably feral, so, I mean, she's not gonna like you. I take a moment to think about the situation of the mother cat, helplessly wandering around the mansion looking for any signs of her kittens. In essence, we took them from her. Yes, you did. I need to make sure they're reunited. Without the mother, I don't think these kittens stand a chance at survival. Having 3 little helpless creatures perish under my watch, I don't think I could forgive myself. Well, then why did you take them? Why did you take them? If we find the mother, we could capture her and bring her to your cabin, I say. I guess she wanted them out of the mansion because she was worried that if she left them alone, Veritas would do something to them, or he would see her absence as a way to have somebody do something to them. So they're doing the next best thing, which is like taking them somewhere safe, and then they will go back to somehow catch the man, which is probably going to be some sort of contraption with food in it. You want to take care of the mother cat too? Well, without her, I don't think these kittens will survive, I say with a solemn voice. EEYOK stands there, shaking his head, sighing in response. I'll do as you ask, but this is not my expertise. We don't even know if the mother cat is still on the premises. And then we have to go about catching her, he adds. Well, she's not going to go that far from her kittens, so she's probably still around. You don't have any idea how to catch her, do you? I ask with a wry smile and a shrug. I've trapped small game before, he starts in a serious tone, but those traps were meant to kill, not catch. Oh, I say, looking down at the kittens. Definitely want her alive. I look at him with hopeful eyes. I believe she's still in the mansion or somewhere around it. She wouldn't abandon her kittens after all. I can help you set traps. What's your intention with them? He asks me, glancing at the kittens wriggling about on the sheets. See, and they would wriggle when they're like tiny. Because they're just like tiny little mole things at that point. They're just tiny. They're not 6 weeks old. So she is just being dumb in this. I'm going to chalk this up to her being dumb. And she thinks that kittens stay in that state for 6 weeks. What do you mean? Do you intend to take them as pets and have them roam the mansion? They are now your responsibility. Oh, I haven't thought that far ahead yet. She's going to give them away to people outside of the mansion. I only wanted to save the kittens from certain doom. I couldn't let Veritas decide the fate of these helpless creatures. But EEYOK is right. Now that they're my responsibility, what do I intend to do with them? I think just raising them until they can fend for themselves would be my short-term plan, I say. EEYOK straightens his back. When you say raising them, you're referring to me, aren't you? I bite down on my bottom lip and give him an innocent smile. Yes, I want you to take care of them, I say. There's no other way to go about this. I can't have the kittens in the mansion, as the staff will find out and inform Veritas. I don't want anyone to know where they are here, so I can't raise them myself in the mansion, I explain. So I'm asking you, do you want to take care of these kittens until they're old enough to leave? EEYOK stares down at me, his resolve wavering. As you wish, Your Grace. I will do my best. I can come by every now and then to check up on them, I say, seizing the opportunity to spend more time with EEYOK. I will not stop you, he says, eyes glancing over to the kittens. One of the kittens strays too far to the edge of the bed and tumbles down. EEYOK reflexively catches it in the blink of an eye, the kitten straddled in his hand. It meows as it wriggles around, and he gently places it back on the bed. I let out a small giggle. Seems they're quite a handful, I observe, but they're very cute. What if they weren't cute? He asks, the mood suddenly shifting. What do you mean? I say, taken aback. What if one of them had a missing eye or was covered in bruises and fleas? Is the reason you saved them solely because of their appeal? EEYOK's question feels like it carries a deeper meaning, like it isn't only about the kittens. Regardless of their looks, they're helpless creatures and deserve a chance at life. I answer him, cute or ugly, I don't want them to die. Don't forget you said that, he says cryptically. You speak as if something is about to happen, I point out. Something can always happen, he stresses. The kittens can get tangled in some rope and choke. They can fall off a rooftop and break their leg, or they can simply get a small cut which gets infected and they die the very next day. His words make me feel uneasy, as if he's speaking from personal experience and warning me about potential dangers. I'm going insane! Time loop. He's like, hey. Look. He's like, hey. You got tangled in some rope and choked. You fell off a rooftop and broke your leg. You got a cut and you got infected. I don't know. Time loop. He's like, these are all the ways you died before. I don't know. Again, I think I'm looking way too deeply into it, but I'm just saying there's the groundwork for it. I'm not crazy. His words make me feel uneasy, as if he's blah blah blah. I think we've already said that one. Has something like that happened to you before? I ask cautiously. EEYOK avoids meeting my gaze. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best, Your Grace. I guess I can't fault that logic, I say with a small sigh, but I'll try my best to take care of these kittens too. Starting with finding their mother. This is a fucking side quest. Music lessons bore me. I didn't mind them that much before, but I'm simply repeating the same steps. All I want to do is find that mother cat. Instead, I'm stuck here playing the piano on Glenn's instructions. However, I do have to note that he has mellowed out a lot more. Perhaps knowing that song has unlocked his ability to have a fondness for another person. He used to be very unemotional and cold towards me. My fingers press down the keys of the piano until Glenn's cane taps against my back like a drill sergeant. Drill sergeant's a thing in the 1700s? I'm looking it up. So drill sergeants allegedly became a thing in 1964. Girl. I think it's so jarring because I think she does everything else quite well, but then she'll sneak in words like timeline and drill sergeant. And again, there is some leeway because this is not the true 1700s. So you could go, well, yeah, in this world there were drill sergeants in in the 1700s, because this isn't a case of like, you know, those shows that I also do like, the isekai ones, where you get reincarnated into like the past or whatever. Those can be really good, but this isn't that. She was born here. That could have been really good though, because that would make everything else make sense, like all the timeline and all that stuff. It's just not consistent, which I'm not going to care too much about. I just might point out. Sit up straight. A bad posture creates bad music, he scolds, punctuating his words with his cane. I'm not on the game. The same old Glenn, as irritating as ever. I tried to shake off any bad thoughts and straighten my back and continue playing the music on the sheet. I make a lot of mistakes though, as I'm not that great at reading sheet music. Mid-melody, I falter and expect another reprimand, but to my surprise, there's only silence. He didn't notice my mistake? Odd. I glance over at Glenn, who takes out a handkerchief and coughs inside of it. He does look awfully pale, more so than usual, that is. Oh my god, does he have TB? Are you feeling all right, my lord? I asked politely, halting my music. Glenn was my tutor until shortly after the masquerade ball, when he abruptly vanished and left me with a substitute. I never thought much about it, but now I wonder if he stopped teaching because he fell ill. I'm fine, your grace, he replies with a dismissive wave. Don't mind me, keep practicing. Pretend I'm the air, guiding you through this musical challenge. I place my fingers back on the keys and resume my lesson. Eventually I finish it without much input from Glenn, which is peculiar. Would you like me to play another piece? I ask, gesturing towards the various sheet music. You're pointing at some musical sheet, aren't you? He asks me pointedly. Realizing my mistake, I hang my head down. Yes. Play whichever is next, he says, his head turned towards the window. I wonder if he can feel the sunlight. I sort through the sheets, trying to decide which to play next. Behind me, Glenn succumbs to a fit of coughing, the sound strained and dry. My lord, you sound sick. Maybe we should end our lesson early, I suggest, concerned. It's nothing, he brushes it off. Just some dust from the old sheets. I've been cleaning out my grandmother's room and the dust there got to me. Don't worry about it. My interest is piqued. Your grandmother, the one who played music for the gatekeepers, right? You know, you could have two grandmothers, but yes, that is the one I'm talking about. Who else would it be? He snipes at me. Did she leave behind anything interesting of note? I ask. A lot of worthless instruments, Glenn grumbles. She was a lousy keeper. Keeper of instruments, that is. Broken strings, out-of-tune violins, as an affront to my ears. What about those journals you mentioned? You're very nosy about my grandmother, he mumbles. Can you fault me for that? She's the only one I know of that had first-hand experience with a gatekeeper. That's not true. There's me, he points out. Huh? You too? He leans his chin on his cane and points at me with a grin. I realize he means me. I'm a gatekeeper too. Well, aren't you funny, my lord? I say sarcastically. Glenn snickers, pleased with his cleverness, which leads to another coughing fit. To my knowledge, there's no one left who's had an encounter with the gatekeeper from the old days, he informs me. That's why I'm interested in those journals, I explain. I know so little about the gatekeepers. Maybe it's best you keep it that way, he advises. The Empire isn't exactly thrilled about your appearance. They would rather you not exist at all, so I caution you against snooping around. He taps his cane against the floor. Why do you think you have me as a tutor? He asks. Because you are a highly esteemed musical genius? Oh my, you flatter me, he says, fluttering his eyelashes at me. But the truth is, he continues in a more sober tone, it's because no one else wanted the job. Well, that's news to me. He's saying that no one wanted to tutor me? I guess that's not far-fetched, considering how everyone has treated me thus far. If the Empire caught whiff of it, they would be shunned by the royal family and lose all sorts of connections. You're saying you're the only one mad enough to tutor the gatekeeper, I deduce. Glenn laughs out loud. That's right, mad genius, as you may. Why? I ask, genuinely confused. It's not like Glenn ever showed any kinship with me before. I wait for his witty comeback, but none appears. Glenn seems to contemplate how to answer me in all seriousness. Why indeed, he murmurs. There's this saying in Grindalia, kind seeks kind. Hearing my silence, he elaborates. It means people of similar standing seek each other out, he clarifies. You're not a gatekeeper, though, I point out. We're not exactly alike. He gives me a wry smile that doesn't reach his eyes. No, thank the heavens I'm nothing like you, he quips, but our treatment by others is very much the same. Ah, I respond, understanding that he means we're both societal outcasts. No one wants me around. High society rejects a commoner becoming a duke's fiancé. The Empire wants me dead, and apparently talented individuals don't want to tutor me either. I can only imagine how rough the world must be for someone who was born blind. It reminds me of what EEYOK said. Would I still have wanted to take care of the kittens if they had some kind of defect? It forces me to ponder whether I'm as shallow as the people who reject me based on class. I don't want to believe I am. Thank you, I tell Glenn, for taking the job that no one else wanted. Anytime, Your Grace, he replies casually. For once, I can say I've had a pleasant encounter with my tutor, Glenn. My next set of lessons are embroidery. Once again, I find myself bored. This used to be my profession, after all. I spent my days hand-stitching lace, hunched over like a common seamstress, weaving 1,000 jewels into a noblewoman's dress. I know my way around a needle and thread, so these lessons feel like a tiresome formality, but Veritas insists, probably believing that my skill level isn't adequate. So here I sit, lazily threading the needle through a white square of cloth, meticulously following a rose pattern. The end result will be a handkerchief, a white one of course, because every lady must have her own delicate handkerchief. I'd much rather be spending my time searching for that elusive mother cat. The kittens need her. Just as my mind drifts away, I hear the distinct rustling of leaves in the background. The silence before makes it impossible not to notice. I whip my head around to the cabinet where the kittens once were, and there she is, the mother cat, sneaking her way into the room. Psst, you there, help me out, I whisper urgently to my embroidery tutor. She looks up from her chair, seemingly oblivious to the cat's presence in the room. Can you open up this drawer for me? I ask as I get up. I grab a large piece of white linen from the collection of fabrics on display and quietly make my way over to the cabinet. The mother cat has already slipped inside the drawer. If I can open it and throw the cloth on her, I might just catch her. My tutor seems confused by my instructions as she stands beside me. Do you want me to open this? She asks, uncertain. Yes, do it quickly so she can't react, I implore. React, Your Grace? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, I announce and touch louder, urging her into action. She pulls the drawer open, revealing a very startled black and white cat. I throw the cloth over her, wrapping it tightly around her to prevent any chance of escape. I got her, I exclaim triumphantly as I maintain a firm hold on the bundled up cat, feeling her wriggle and hiss in response. Yeah, that is a feral cat. I carefully hoist the cat out of the drawer, her struggles muffled within the cloth. With my feline catch secured, I dash off towards the stables. I quickly knock on the door. EEYOK, let me in, I yell. Holding the captured mother cat proves challenging as she's desperately trying to escape my grasp. The door opens shortly after and I nudge my way past EEYOK, who appears mildly perturbed. Close the door quickly, I instruct, and if you've got any windows open, close them too. Without questioning my urgency, EEYOK promptly shuts the door behind me. Your Grace, did you... He begins to ask, eyeing the moving bundle of linen in my arms. Yes, should I free her? I wonder aloud, starting to second-guess my impulsive decision. Put her on the bed with the kittens, he advises. EEYOK gestures to his bed, which now boasts a woven basket containing 3 sleeping kittens. I place the cat on the bed and loosen the sheet. Feeling the movement and shifting of the fabric, the mother cat bursts out and frantically darts around the cabin. Oh, she's quite upset, I observe, feeling a bit guilty for manhandling her this way. She appears disoriented, racing around the room in search of an escape. Careful, EEYOK warns me as the cat rushes past me and knocks over a bunch of plates from a table. They shatter into large shards as it hits the wooden flooring, waking up the kittens who start meowing in response. That's good. The mother cat scales the shelves, knocking down various items which EEYOK hurriedly attempts to catch. In a daring move, she leaps from the shelf, causing EEYOK to evade her as she lands on the floor. But finally, her ears pick up the meowing of the kittens and she jumps on the bed and crawls inside of the basket. Thank goodness she stopped running, I say with a sigh, calming down my heart. EEYOK and I approach the bed to look, but we're met with a deadly hiss and flattened ears, so we take a step back to give them some space. Seems she's found them, I say in relief, even though she wants nothing to do with us. All she knows is that 2 large creatures stole her babies. Can't fault her for her ferocious reaction to us, says EEYOK. We can probably bribe them with lots of food to win their favor, I suggest. Do you know what cats eat? EEYOK asks, unsure himself. Thinking back to the alley cat we once cared for, I recall that we mostly fed it scraps of meat. We gave our alley cat leftover meat from the bone. I think any meat will do, I reply. I consider requesting extra food during breakfast and sneaking it over to EEYOK, hopefully without arousing any suspicions. I can't have the staff know about the kittens remaining in the mansion. My attention shifts back to the kittens who have begun nursing from their mother. The sight warms my heart as they reunite. Look, I call out, they're nursing. EEYOK cracks a small and genuine smile, making his entire demeanor glow with a gentle warmth. We should probably leave them alone for now, let them calm down, he suggests. Yes, agreed. EEYOK starts to clean up the broken shards of the plate that shattered before, neatly piling them into a wooden bucket. Which is when I notice that one of the eyelets... Eyelets? Yeah. On his uniform has come undone, dangling from his chest. The cats must have gotten caught in it during her frenzied escape. Is it? How to say eyelets?
Eyelets.
Okay, I was right. Hey, your uniform has a loose eyelet, I inform him as I step closer. EEYOK says, glancing down at his uniform. Don't worry, I was actually doing embroidery just now, so I still have the sewing kit with me, I say, offering a reassuring smile. I reach out to the dangling eyelet with my hand, standing close to EEYOK, who immediately tenses up at my presence. He mutters awkwardly. I'll have this fixed in a minute. Can you take it off? I ask as I grab the hem of his uniform. Off, Your Grace? He asks, his voice filled with timidity, as he continues to appear uneasy with our closeness. Well, I don't want to stab you in the chest with a needle, Sir EEYOK, I say with a soft chuckle. Could you remove your uniform for me? Oh, he breathes out. I shall. I take a step back to give him some room as he slowly starts removing his uniform. The sunlight peers through the window behind him, giving the entire scene a more intimate mood. With only his shirt on, he looks more casual and relaxed, like he's not on duty. Especially with how he's framed by the sunlight, he looks rather stunning. I feel warmth creep up to my cheeks and quickly avert my gaze from him, dispelling any inappropriate thoughts from my mind. I can always have one of the maids do it for me. It's no trouble at all. I wouldn't want to impose on you, EEYOK mentions, holding onto the uniform. No, really, you'd be doing me a favor, I say quickly. How so? I'm an accomplished seamstress, have been for over a decade now. I know how to do embroidery, yet the Duke still forces me to go through the motions. I crave something more challenging. EEYOK raises an eyebrow at me. Is this particular task that difficult? No, not at all, I laugh, but it does take my mind off everything. In truth, it reminds me of my time at the tailor shop, where I cherished the mundane tasks like mending buttons. These little chores have started to feel nostalgic. Do you not like your lessons? EEYOK asks me, staring at his uniform. I've already had them in my previous life. Going through them again is only dulling my senses. No, they're dreadfully boring, I answer honestly. Is that so? He says, looking a bit surprised at my answer. Do you not wish to become a proper lady? I give him an incredulous look. Did I have any choice in the matter? Sorry, throat again. Thought I was doing really well. It was either marry the Duke or face the Empire's wrath. My apologies, Your Grace. I made an insensitive comment, he says remorsefully. Handing over his uniform to me, he averts his gaze. I was under the impression that the noble life wasn't so bad, he murmurs. I can't blame him for thinking that, as he's a knight after all. I put on a brave smile and retrieve my sewing kit, getting to work on fixing the dangling eyelet. EEYOK turns away from me, taking a protective stance near the basket of kittens and their mother. Reattaching the eyelet proves to be a simple task, taking less than a minute to complete. The most challenging part is threading the needle. It's then that I hear a small gasp behind me. Your hand! Startled, I look up at him, seeing this worried expression etched on his face. He rushes to my side, leaning over the table to examine my hand closely. There's a small cut on the back of my hand. Oh, the cat must have scratched me, I say nonchalantly. She was thrashing about when I caught her. It must have happened then. But EEYOK's expression remains deeply concerned. Please go and fetch your maid to clean and treat it right away, he insists. Dude! I'm going insane. I'm going insane. He doesn't act like somebody who remembers previous time loops. But with him being like, oh, you could get it like the kitten, like what if the kitten could get a cut and then die of infection the next day, and now she has a cut and he's like really worried about it. I don't know, I don't want to stop playing this. It's getting so fucking late and I'm kind of hungry, but I really don't want to stop playing this because I just want to play through the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie. It's just a very superficial cut. The bleeding has already stopped. I respond, puzzled by the intensity of his concern. The cut is no larger than a centimeter. Please, he pleads strongly. Cuts can get infected. If this is just him freaking out because his mother got a cut or something, I don't know. I'm gonna be disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. This is the perfect setup for EEYOK time looping. This is the perfect setup for it. His emotional reaction is so unusual that it takes me by surprise, and I decide to take his words seriously. All right, Sir EEYOK, I shall clean this cut right away, I tell him. It could be some dragon magic that makes him time loop. I don't know. EEYOK releases a relieved breath. Thank you, is all he says. And your uniform is finished too, I say, presenting the uniform to him. As long as you leave right now to get yourself cleaned up, I don't care if it's in tatters or shining in pristine condition. He seems to be really afraid of me getting hurt, I notice. But I appreciate it nonetheless, he adds, acknowledging my efforts. Now go, Your Grace. I'll take care of the kittens. Based on EEYOK's insistence, I go find Mandy. I I examine my hand, the scratch now cleaned and looking rather innocuous. I don't think it's going to get infected. My bigger concern is the well-being of the kittens. Your Grace, I've received a message for you, says Mandy, who's been helping me get dressed for bed. What is it? It's from Anderson's tailor shop. They require your presence. Ah, that must be Kim signaling that the design for the children's camise. Fuck, how do you say that again? I remember saying, I feel like I remember being like, how do you say this in, James's room. How to say chemise. I don't know how to say it. Chemise? I want someone to actually pronounce it.
Shamisa.
That's not what I asked for.
Shami.
Yeah, stop. Let's listen to this punctuation. UK.
Chemise.
Chemise. Okay. The children's chemise is finished. I will have to see her soon in person. Perhaps I can do it on the same day Veritas leaves for the casino. I still have time before we head to the Baron's residence. I'm not on the game. Anything else on the agenda? I ask her. Mandy pauses her fussing with my nightgown to think. The Duke is leaving for a visit to the casino in 2 days, and next month there's an annual masquerade party. I sigh. The masquerade party. Have you ever attended one? Mandy asks, clearly taken aback by my tone. No, I haven't, I reply quickly. I'm just not much of a party person. I think it's beautiful. We're not allowed to attend as servants, and we have to work in the back, but seeing everyone's costumes, it's so extravagant. Right, servants can't work the floor, even EEYOK can't attend. My previous experience involved being mercilessly taunted by Chelsea and her group of noblewomen, not receiving a single dance invitation, not even from Veritas himself. I was ridiculed and humiliated and even harassed by a drunken man when I sought some peace and quiet. Perhaps I can convince EEYOK to attend and I'll have a dance partner after all. I heard even the royal family from Grindalia are attending, Mandy says in a hushed tone. They are, I repeat. I don't recall seeing them last time. I think they want to see you, she points at me. You are a marvel, after all. Or a laughingstock. I don't recall being approached by the royal family from Grindalia last time. Mandy finishes up and I tell her to prepare an assortment of meat in the early morning. As I step onto the training grounds the next morning, I yawn and swing a basket filled with food behind me. I wanted to ensure I got food for the mother cat bright and early, as she likely hasn't had a decent meal in a while. I hope these meat scraps will satisfy her. I wonder how they're doing, and I hope EEYOK got some rest through the night. I approach the cabin and see one of the other knights out and about. Your Grace, what are you doing here so early in the morning? He asks. Good day, Sir Klastov. I greet him politely. I'm looking for Sir EEYOK. He's shirking his duties, the knight grumbles. Go wake him up and have him clean out the stables for the horses. It seems EEYOK is still asleep, which is unexpected. Not bothering knocking on the cabin door, I push it open to enter it by myself. Probably shouldn't do that. The room is bathed in the early morning golden sunlight as I enter. I place the basket of food on the table in the middle of the room. Actually, it's too quiet. I don't hear any meows. Feeling my heart get caught in my throat, I start scanning my surroundings, hoping the kittens haven't escaped. Those are not kittens who can't open their eyes. Those do look like 6-week-old kittens. Did I misread that part? Where she was like, they can't even open their eyes yet. Look at this dragon. But then my eyes fall upon a sleeping EEYOK, his nude form partially covered by a blanket. 3 adorable kittens snuggle closely against him, finding warmth in his presence. Where's the mama? Okay. The mother cat is sleeping in the basket EEYOK left for the kittens, all together on the same bed. I almost let out an audible gasp of glee. This is too cute! EEYOK looks exhausted. He must have been kept up all night taking care of the kittens, so he's missing his morning duties. The 3 kittens are adorably snuggled up to him in various positions, seeking comfort and warmth against his skin. It's an incredibly heartwarming sight, one that I don't have the heart to disturb. I tiptoe closer to them, not daring to wake them up, but to get a better look. The mother cat's ears twitch upon sensing my approach, but she remains undisturbed. Bending down on my knees, I rest my arms on the edge of his bed and quietly observe EEYOK's peaceful slumber. The morning light illuminates him perfectly, making him appear as though he's glowing, almost shimmering. It's quite improper for a lady, or anyone for that matter, to gaze at another person in their sleep like this. Yet I can't help but feel that this is a rare and special moment to see him so vulnerable, sleeping alongside these precious kittens. I let out a hearty sigh, feeling myself get drowsy at the sight too. This is the worst thing you can possibly do, by the way, because you're just gonna like a pervert. Girl pervert. Soon my eyelids start feeling heavy and I have a hard time staying awake. Despite my best efforts to stay awake, sleep eventually claims me. POV switch? No. I was hoping. But they've never done a POV switch, so... Something stirs beside me and I crack open my eyes. A pair of golden lizard eyes stare back at me. Your Grace? Yeah, he doesn't look astounded. He looks like, you know... Your Grace? EEYOK says, astounded. Hold on, why am I lying here next to him? When did I crawl into bed with him, and how did I get this close? I must be dreaming, he says in a softer voice, his eyes softening. Because Valkii would never sleep next to me, he continues, ending with a chuckle. I freeze, unsure of how to respond. Should I apologize for finding my way into his bed, attempt to make a joke, or perhaps compliment his appearance enhanced by the morning light? No, Valkii, don't say something indecent like that. My racing heart is making it difficult to formulate an appropriate response. Hi, I breathe out instead. Good morning. EEYOK simply stares at me, the seconds stretching on. I can practically hear the gears turning in his head. Okay, he's not naked. Ah! He yelps and sits up straight, throwing the kittens off balance. No, the kittens! Goodness, I cry out, taken by surprise. In my haste to get out of bed, I tumble to the wooden floor. Are you alright? EEYOK asks in concern, his face still completely bewildered. I mean, Your Grace, why are you here? Am I... He stutters incoherently. What did it say about him being flustered? Because honestly, I find him flustered a lot. Ignore this. Okay, no, you didn't. I'm opening my video. Flustered every now and then. I still feel like it's quite a lot. As he climbs out of bed, I finally manage to regain my composure. I try my best to keep my embarrassment in check and appear calm. I came to deliver food for the mother cat, I explained, gesturing to the basket on the table. Yes, but are you gonna deliver it to me in my bed? Heat rises to my cheeks either way, and I avert my gaze from him. I suppose he won't be satisfied with my explanation that I didn't know I crawled into his bed either. You look so beautiful sleeping like that. I wanted to join you. I admit, my words bolder than I intended. EEYOK's mouth drops open and he looks thoroughly bewildered. Yeah, great. He stammers, his face flushed red. Trying to salvage the situation, I point at the kittens. I mean, you were sleeping so delicately with the kittens, it looked so peaceful. EEYOK quickly grabs his shirt from the bedpost and puts it on as if it'll protect him from the embarrassment. I apologize, I say, quickly bowing my head. I shouldn't have fallen asleep too. EEYOK rubs the back of his neck, awkwardly looking away. Your Grace, this is a knight's house. It's all men in here. Please do not do this again, he cautions. I nod at him. You're right. I only came to deliver the food. My gaze lingers on the basket of food and I feel that it's time to leave. I keep flip-flopping from going, it makes total sense and I think they are doing him time looping, to, no he's not. And there was a great chance when he was like, thought he was dreaming, where he could have alluded to something more, and I think he kind of did, like, Valkii would never get into bed with me, kind of thing. But that could make sense in this, in like a non-time loop sense as well. What is, I feel like there's something wrong with my headphones. I keep hearing a popping sound. Well, everything seems to be in order here, so I'll be on my way, I say, eager to depart. I turn on my heel and rush towards the door. Just as I'm about to leave, I catch a glimpse of EEYOK running his hands through his red hair, shaking his head. What the hell? He mutters under his breath before I close the door. Is he pouting? I just... We have so much left to go. I'm never gonna find out if he time loops. There's a whole like stretch where there's no CGs. CG plus epilogue. I think he has a side story too. Who else has a side story? Do you have a side story yet? He does. His POV. Chapter 7? What the hell happened in Chapter 7? We'll never know because I don't have my save file anymore. Actually, I might. I did cloud sync stuff. I had it turned off before, but I did cloud sync it before I reformatted my computer. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one because I love EEYOK. I love this. I'll see you in the next one.